Hi everyone, welcome to Marshashana Yoga. On past shows we have discussed the chakras and have covered some of them individually. Today we'll look at the second one, the sacral chakra. Chakra in Sanskrit means wheel because they are seen as spinning vortices of energy that coil down from the universe and up from the earth. They meet in the physical body, and when that happens, it creates an aura, or an energetic casing, kind of like the atmosphere around a planet. However, chakras are not all mystical and mysterious. They allow us to get and process and then release energy from nature around us. And in turn, they introduce the life energy of prana to the endocrine system, which regulates hormones in the body. They also act as a filter and allow us to reach higher levels of consciousness and awareness as we encourage the opening of each chakra. In yoga, we believe that all forms of life have chakras. It is thought that the mineral kingdom has 1 chakra, the animal kingdom 3 to 4 chakras. In the human body, there are many minor chakras, but the major ones from the bottom up are the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra. Okay, so we can't see or touch these chakras, so we must initially be open to this idea. Remember that we all understand the meaning of electricity, although we cannot see or touch it. And what about the ego? Yup, same thing. I believe that someday the chakras will be understood and accepted just like these other ideas. We are not machines or robots. We are beings of energy. So, with that understanding, can we not at least look at the possibility that ourselves include this energetic or spiritual piece? Science is showing that we are made of matter that is much the same as that on which the universe is built. We know that each of us has a genetic encryption that makes us who we are individually. And in yogic thinking, we believe that we are connected to the universe and to all others. As we look for ways to further this development, we can use the chakras as a way to help us become more aware. So, as we focus on and open these chakras, we heal ourselves. As we heal ourselves, we also heal our planet. This is the concept of morphic resonance. And it basically says that when one person is healed, we all experience this somewhere in our being. We are a part of the whole, and we can support each other. As we clear the energy of our chakras, we also boost the collective energy in all of us. Yes, we do need to unblock these to make us better and the world better. Sometimes people become closed in their hearts, carrying anger or hatred there. When you're around these people, it can be very draining. Now picture someone who is happy and open-hearted, and you may prefer to be in that company. As we gently open the chakras, we are, first of all, making a conscious decision to improve our quality of life, and the transformation can be pretty astounding. Now, I know about the power of the chakras. I have done a little experimenting with this, being rather new at all of this thinking. I needed to confirm some of this. I think if you try it, you'll be surprised at how real it is. Let me tell you about one experience that I had when I first started teaching. I was really focusing on the heart chakra a lot. So as I focused on every class opening up this chakra, I began, after several months of doing this, to feel almost like overly compassionate. If I drove by someone who was on the street who maybe a woman without a baby carriage, or in a rainstorm without an umbrella, I would begin to cry. And I felt like I really was feeling all of the world's sufferings. I stopped doing it that intensely every single day, so I did absolutely see a result of this. After that, I switched to the third eye, but that's a story for another time. So how can we clear the chakras? Well, there are a number of techniques, including breath work, the act of consciously moving the breath through the body. Of course, with the physical body, we need to get some exercise and fresh air in order to enrich the blood and release toxins. The chakras are the same way. They too can become sludgy with negative patterns and unexpressed emotions. It is often the stuff underneath in the unconscious that really runs our lives, if we take a close look. Use music when working with the energy of the chakras, whatever kind moves you, and begin by taking some deep breaths, and several times just blow out through the mouth, emptying the lungs of staleness and perhaps some problems. Then just move, dance or anything. If you feel like singing or doing a sigh or a ha or anything, let that come, because that will help to clear the blockages. Many of us are in a state of fight or flight, sustained stress conditions for much of the day, so let's relax by allowing the different parts of the body to relax. The feet, ankles, knees, back, hips, spine, chest, etc. Give extra attention to the area of the shoulders and neck, the jaw, and the eyes, all places where we hold stress. Seems right that the more relaxed you are, the easier it will be to bring attention to the subtle energy in the body. At this time, it will be good to release any emotions that are uncomfortable. When you pay attention, you will be able to eventually feel them. Feelings that sit in the belly include anger, anxiety, and hilarity. Think belly laugh. Sorrow often rests in the chest. Where the heart is, the chest caves in. The fingers, hands, shoulders, and necks can be a place where grief resides. Try to recognize these and then release them through movement, voice, or tears, whatever it takes. The Sanskrit word for the sacral chakra is Svadhisthana, and its element is water. This chakra is the home of our energy and controls our vitality and our physical movement. Of course, since our emotions often reflect our sense of well-being, this chakra is important to this too, and it is the area responsible for money and pleasure. Let's look at these separately. Well-being is how we feel about ourselves. When there is harmony and evenness, we feel happy and at peace. If we have obstacles to feeling good about ourselves, they live here. So we should focus here to bring about good feelings towards our own self. One of the biggest problems that can arise from this chakra is greed. It means that who you are or what you have is not enough. It's important when attempting to open this chakra to affirm, I am enough, I have enough. When people overexert themselves to try to prove themselves, the results can be exhaustion and depletion. Remember the importance of eating well, too. Since I have started eating better, I can notice the effects of the food I eat. For instance, if I indulge in junk food with preservatives, I will feel it in my body, especially if it's before bed, as the body attempts to detoxify itself from that which it has become unaccustomed to. Well-being involves taking care of yourself, finding a balance. Rest is important, as is cleanliness in your body and appearance. Remember Sosha, one of the niyamas, cleanliness. Things that happen when we were young can block this chakra. bad parenting or neglect or abuse. We can continue this self-abuse into adult life. If you recognize this, try to create something new within yourself. Next, we'll talk about pleasure, which is essential and is really so basic to our needs. It is actually what we experience as very young children. And when we have good things in our life that bring us pleasure, it opens that chakra up. Some people think it is best to deprive themselves of pleasure, and that is sacrilegious itself with regard to our well-being. Also, our society imposes many negative concepts around sex, and that can play out in this chakra. In yogic thinking, when we deny the body physical touch, we further accentuate irrational thinking that may be keeping us from enjoying this in the first place. And that just makes us feel more unworthy and unlovable, and it is punishment for the self. The sacral chakra controls our sexuality and the physical reproductive system, so opening it can help. This chakra is also the center for abundance. So let's talk money. We need money to survive, but some individuals see money as something negative or perhaps beyond their reach. They fear there will never be enough of it, and it is this belief in scarcity that contributes to blockage in the sacral chakra and forms a reality that includes a lack of wealth. There are lots of things you can observe within yourself. How you handle money, what you buy with it for attention or approval or love. If you're in a job you enjoy, if you are too tight or too generous with it. In our society, too, people become enthralled with material goods and they identify themselves with what they possess. So we said exercise is important, including the asanas of yoga. The best way to move to open the sacral chakra is with movement that involves the ankles, knees, and hips. The music should be rhythmical. Latin is good, or any American music with a beat. It should be sensual, allowing for the swaying of the hips and such. It's fun too. Another action that will help flow in this chakra is massage, because it takes place on the back. You can do this to someone else. Imagine a point 2 fingers below your belly button and 2 inches inward towards the spine. Start with the person on their back, and with your right hand, just hover over this spot and begin to move in a circular clockwise direction, allowing energy to just flow freer there. After that energy is moving better, have the person turn onto their stomach. Place your right hand over that sacral chakra with the palm down, and then just let the left hand rest somewhere on the person's back so that the energy is balanced appropriately. Now begin to rub back and forth from one hip bone to the other, moving over the sacrum. Large circles or figure eights, just moving back and forth, whatever you like. Just make sure that the pressure and the way you're working is comfortable for the person receiving the massage. The color of this chakra is orange, as I mentioned, and it's a high energy color. People who are strong in this chakra will have lots of get up and go, maintaining many activities and such, often going until they drop. They also can be quite shrewd and calculating and may be so focused on physical activity that they may not attend to spiritual stuff, may not trust in the spiritual. So now, let's open up that chakra, do a little stretching and some breath work. We'll move to the mats. So we begin, as always, by bringing our attention to our breath. And just noticing on the inhalation as the body just fills and expands, and on the exhalation as the back body just relaxes into the mat. So in yoga, we just bring that awareness to our breath, noticing the rise and fall of the breath. And we bring our attention to that sacral chakra at the navel area, just below the navel. And just envisioning there that orange light. So we just rest here. So that chakra is related to the sacrum, that lower back area. And we just notice our breath. And then we'll just bring the arms behind us and just lengthen the arms a bit. And then just exhaling them down. And now we'll just bring the arms straight up in the air and interlace them and point the knuckles up as you stretch the arms upwards and the shoulders. If you can't come all the way together, just come to where you can. Always modify, never do anything that causes you pain. So we're going to reach out, then we're going to let that settle down with the shoulders and then flip the palms up. Inhale them to the chest, exhale forward. Inhale back, exhale up. Release the hands towards each other and then bring one to each elbow and just let that rest behind us. We let that open up and stretch that pectoral muscle there in the chest. Taking a breath. And then bring that up and just switch the cross of the arms. And once again, let that rest. And just attend for a moment to that sensation of the stretching through the arms and the shoulders and the armpits. And just noticing you may feel slightly different on one side than the other. And then just releasing, bringing the hands up again, and just gently opening and closing them. So we spread the fingers wide to stretch them, and then just a loose fist. And again, spreading wide and a loosed fist. And again. And keeping the arms long and straight. And then with that loose fist, just making some rotations, getting the hands warmed up a little bit, and the other way. And then just bring the palms pressing up as we stretch the wrists, and then let the fingers drop. And then up again, and down. Again, up to the ceiling, and down towards the floor. And once again, just stretch the arms long, and exhale down. Release your blocks to the side and just set them near you where you can reach them with your hand. And for a moment, just point the feet, stretching along the tops of the feet, and then pulling the toes back. So as we do this, we ground down with the calves, so we're getting a nice sensation there, and then pointing again and flexing again. And then draw the toes up and spread the toes as much as you're able. And then gently squeeze the feet. And then spread the toes wide and gently squeeze the toes. And then as you widen them this time, just try wiggling them a little bit. And then slide the heels away and bring the toes together and just windshield that back and forth like old-fashioned windshield wipers, and just opening up the hips and lubricating the hips and all of that area. And then coming to the toes together, extend that forward. Let that stretch the inner groin. And then coming back up, bring that back up and just tap the legs. Just invigorating, bringing some energy into the legs. And now just bring your hands down on the blocks so they're resting on the blocks with the palms down. And I like to just roll the shoulders up a bit and then back and down as we bring those shoulder blades down. Stretch the arms forward. So really lengthen them, kind of lock in the elbows and lengthen them as we do in many of the positions as we're moving the arms away, the shoulders away from the ears. And then just releasing that. And just bring your feet up to the floor. and gently rock the knees a little bit back and forth. Now we're moving across that sacrum corresponding to the chakra, the sacral chakra. So just that nice movement of the hips, good for opening that chakra. Come back to the center and just rock the head left and right a little bit. And again, we just warm up the neck too. And then coming back up to center, extend your arms and extend your legs. Stretch the body, lengthening through the sides of the waist, pushing the heels away, and exhaling down. And then I'll just have you come up off the bolster and just move that off to the side. And just coming down to the flat back. As we extend again the arms, we push the feet away. And exhaling down. Bring your feet up to the floor and draw your right knee across the left leg. Make sure your hip and knee are in a line. And just use your right hand to open that thigh up a little and bring that up. And just gently rocking that in. Now again, we open up the hips. And as we allow freedom in the hips, we also lose the tendency to be gripping in our life. So this is the physical and mental and emotional all connected here. And then bring that left foot to the floor and draw this right knee in, placing the right elbow in your right knee in your right elbow and using the left hand to just draw that right foot in. So we just move that towards the body a bit. And then bring it back down and let it cross, but draw that foot up towards the thigh a little more. And now lift. And you'll notice a smaller area of the sacrum and just rock that in and out. And again, bring that left foot to the floor, let the right cross all the way over. Bring your hand all the way out to a T with palm up. If you have shoulder issues, you can always make it, a modified T there. If you can, though, bring it here. And then take the legs across. Let your head move to the right and take a breath. And inhale up to center. And then uncross the legs. Extend your legs and extend your arms. Exhale down. Bring the feet back up to the floor and cross the left leg over the right. Use your left hand to open that thigh. Bring the knees up. Gently rock them. Just letting that hip open a little bit. And then bring the right foot to the floor. Draw the left knee into the left elbow and just use the right hand to draw that left foot in. Getting a little stretch there on the hip. And now let it come back down, but draw it closer up. And bring that in and just in and out. So this chakra is also related to childbirth and fertility. So if you know someone that is, preparing for childbirth or trying to get pregnant, opening up that chakra can help. Bring the right foot to the floor, let the left leg cross over, bring the left arm to a T with the palm up, and then bring your right hand to bring those right knees to the right, head to the left. Take a breath. And then inhale, back up, uncross the legs. And now just draw the knees up and cross at the ankles and let them widen a little. And then make some circles around, going around on that sacrum. So sometimes too with the hips, when they're too tight, you get all the hips in and the chakra closes, you can get these mood swings and be feeling unfulfilled, not being creative enough, can't get that creativity going. So come back to the side and just cross the chain of your ankles and then just move around the other way. And then come back and just rock a little side to side right over that sacrum. Back and forth, back and forth. And then come to the center and just bring the feet down to the floor. Extend your left leg, bring the right one in towards your chest and take a breath. Make sure that left leg is long and that the heel's centered and the toes are up. And then extend your right leg to whatever your ability is. Keep your arms long, keep your head even, don't let this happen. If that's an issue, put a pillow under your head and draw the knee down. Just bend it a little. Just bend it a little and draw it right down. You'll feel a nice stretch back there. And then extend up, point and flex that foot a few times. Again, bend it to the chest, straighten it up. And now take the sole of that foot above the left knee. Bring the right hand to goalpost if you're able. Again, shoulder issues, leave it here if you have to. If you can bring it to goalpost, good. Take that hand, draw it over, and then coming back up. And now we'll just extend the legs. Bring the left leg to the chest now. Take a breath. Right leg is long, straight, and toes up. Extend the left leg, point and flex, point and flex. And then draw that knee down, just bending the leg a little, extend it back up, lengthening that hamstring and everything. Again, down, right back up. Now bring that to the top of that knee, move that over. Let the left arm be at a goalpost. Come back up. And once more, let's just extend the arms and legs. Stretching, stretching, and coming down. And then we'll just come up to a little bit of a seated position here. Coming up and just sitting on the bolster. And we'll just sit at the edge, in front of the bolster. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you can sit on a pillow or you can sit on the floor. If you're sitting here, I do want you to support your knees. They should not be hanging, so we try to keep the feet under the knees as much as possible. You can also support back here, so wherever it's comfortable for you. Bring the hands up. And let's just do a little alternate nostril breath. So bring those two fingers in, and this one can rest, the other hand can rest. Two fingers are extended. It may take you a while to get to this position, but do what you can. Drop the head a little, bring the thumb to the nostril, close that nostril with the thumb, inhale on the other side. Close the other side, exhale on the thumb side. Inhale, thumb. Close that, open finger, exhale. Inhale on the finger side. Block that, exhale, thumb. Gentle smile on the face, inhale on the thumb. Exhale, finger. Bring the hands down, always calming to the brain. Bring your hands to the back of the bolster and lift and open the chest. As you do that, allow the body to settle down too. As we root down, we lift up with the crown of the head. And then bring one hand to the side and just lean a little, and then the other way. And then coming back. Bring the arm across and stretch the shoulder. And then the other one, just stretching that shoulder a little bit. And then bring the hands here and just do a little opening with that. And the other way. And then bring the hands to the knees. And as you exhale, drop the head and let the arms lengthen. And then inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round and drop. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Coming up. And then just remove those blocks, and for a moment just bring the legs as wide as you're able, sitting at the edge of your block, and just press down with the hands as you lift up with the chest. And just letting these legs feel heavy down there, keeping the toes and knees moving upwards. And then coming back. And now bring the legs together and move back towards the back of your bolster. So sitting away at the edge. And then lifting, moving forward, lifting to whatever degree you can without caving in here or losing and rounding the back. So we just take a nice breath here. And actually with further back, we get a little more stretch in the hamstrings too. And then coming up. Let's move the bolster over and come to Virasana. So we're going to take the block and we're going to put it between the legs. Now you can do two too. So if you need a little more height, use a couple. That's fine. Bring your feet to the sides and then reach back in this position with your hips over your knees and just take a hold of the calf, skin of the calves and move that over to the side just to make you a little more room there. And sitting here. And this is good for opening that sacral chakra. Stretch one arm across, stretching, stretching. Come back, stretch the other. And then coming back. Bring one arm up, and as you do that, take your other hand and just turn that upper arm towards the face. And then reach down and bring the other hand to that elbow, stretching and opening. Release that down, draw the other arm up, take your hand and move that in, and then bring the fingertips down and the other hand to the elbow. Drawing that back, opening that up. And then bringing the hands down. Inhale, round the shoulders. Exhale back, inhale up. Exhale back, inhale up. Exhale back. Now let's come up and just release that block and come right up to a table position. So in this position, remember, shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. And just tap the feet for a minute to begin. And then inhale and exhale. Come back up. Move the hands forward just a couple inches. Again, inhale, flat back up. Exhale. Now come back up, and I'll just have you come down, not to a full child, so don't lower your head, but right here. And then come in and slide the elbows and come up into a cobra. Or you can go to up dog, and then come back down, again to child's, not the full child's, keep your head up. And then move the elbow, the hands forward, and come up again into that up dog. Again, back to child's pose. And up. And you can stay right here, or you can lift. And then coming back. And just for a moment, rest there. You can bring a block under your head. Rest for a moment in child's pose. And then you can come up. And we'll take the blanket down, blanket off. And just what we're going to do is we're going to just set that aside for now, and we'll come back to that later. So just for a moment, come back down just for a moment to the stomach. And I just want you to bring your arms so that the shoulder is right over the elbow, so keeping that position. And then take the other hand and bring it back to your foot. And just try to pull that foot right up to the buttocks. So you'll feel a very strong stretch in the top of your leg, in the front of the top of your leg there. And release that. Bring that other arm to the correct position and then lift this. Try to bring it as far back as you can. Beautiful. And then release that and just come up. And once again, just come to that pose, that child's pose for a moment, just as we counter that back bend. And then come up, and I want you to bring your blocks to the front, like this. And then we'll bring the left foot through, and we allow the left knee to be right over the left ankle. This back leg, the knee sits behind the hip. And then we just lift the chest and open it, tuck the back toe, and come up. So if you can do this, if you're not, you can stay in this position. So just modifying as you can. So lifting that back, and then just bringing the head to the knee. And now come back up, drop the knee, come down to that flat back, lift the chest. Tuck the toe, exhale, come up, down to the knee. Inhale, bend that front knee, lift the chest. Exhale, come nose to knee, or wherever you're able. Come back down and switch sides. Bring that other right foot forward. Lift the chest. Exhale, come up, and then down to the knee. Inhale, down, lift the chest. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then just walking forward and just set the blocks to the side and coming up. let's come to the middle for a moment. Coming into Tadasana, first of all, mountain pose. And we know that when we do that, we make sure the feet are right under the hips. And everything's nice and lined up along the spine. I like to roll the shoulders up and back, extend the fingers down, tuck the ab back to the spine, and lift the crown of the head without tilting the chin up. Taking a breath into Tadasana, mountain pose. And now bring your hands alongside your ears and then bend your knees. So you can modify by just bending a little. You can also make it wider if it's harder for the shoulders, or you can bring it down here, whatever works for you. So this is a dynamic and challenging pose. It strengthens the abs, and it also is good for all the internal organs there, so it gives a lot of support to those. And then coming up and bringing the hands down. Now let's step wide. Let's bring the blocks first to the middle. So we'll try our forward fold, coming to a wide place here. So in here, making sure those feet are even, they're parallel. And we're moving the weight to the outside, so we're lifting the groin. And then we're going to raise the arms and just reach up for a minute, just to get the extension, bring them back down to the hips. Now we're going to fold right at the top of the thigh as we come down and place the crown of the head onto the blocks. So just getting your position, bring your hands in as much as possible in line with your feet, palms down. And take a breath. In wide-angled forward fold, which is very calming for the nervous system. So coming up and either walking or hopping together. Inhale, round the shoulders. Exhale, back. Inhale up. Exhale, back. Inhale up. Exhale, back. So we'll come to the front. We're just going to do a little bit of down dog and such. So we come here to begin. We're going to inhale up, fold into Uttanasana, bringing the hands next to the feet, step back with the left foot, and then step back with the right foot. And just coming to downward facing dog. So lifting the buttocks and the back up towards the back wall there, and just extending, making sure you're pressing into your fingers as well as the palm pads. And then lift your left foot up behind you and come into pigeon, bringing that across and just letting that foot in the back be flat. Lift yourself up, take a breath. So we get this is probably the best stretch for the hips. I think it's just a great stretch for the hips. And it can be really tight and hold a lot of stuff in the hips. And then come down. And back up. Just letting that stretch. You keep that nice curve in your lower back there. And then come back out and come back up into down dog. And this time extend the opposite leg. The right leg up. Bring it in towards the chest and over as you settle down there. And you can also have hips that are too loose. Some people have you'll notice they just go like to the floor, and that can be problematic too with regard to the chakras. Can cause like emotional outbursts or unhealthy relationships. You can always stabilize the hips like we do in bridge sometime, where we bring the block between our thighs. Come down. And then just come back up again. Lift the chest. Good. Not too much. You don't want to do anything to the back there. And then coming back out. Let's just come up one more time to down dog. Come into plank pose. Yep. Let the belly come down, the buttocks down, belly up. Side plank if you can. You can always drop the knee, remember, like this, right? To modify. Otherwise, come up on the sides of your feet. Extend one arm over the other. Back down. Go the other way. Come back. And then down. Let's come to child's pose for a moment. Just bring your bolster. If you have a bolster, bring it right here, just between the tops of your knees, and just rest the head one way. Taking a breath. And then just turn your head the other way. So we focused on that sacral chakra today, opening that up and helping us with those areas we talked about, well-being, pleasure, money, all of that stuff. So that's a good thing. Let's come up just for a moment. Bring the hands to the knees, bring the feet a little more than hip distance, bring the hands down, bend the knees a little, and just do that rotation of the hips. So we know that this kind of movement in the hips is good in the other way, good for that chakra. So any movement that does the hips is good. Swinging the hips, any dancing, anything like that, really good. Okay, let's come down for a moment, put our blanket down as we prepare for Shavasana, and we'll just sit up for a little meditation. We're going to open up that sacral chakra a little bit more. So come to your blanket, bring your bolster to sit on, remembering to support your knee. Whoops! Remembering to support your knees and not fall off your bolster. Okay, so wherever you like to support that. just bring your attention to your breath. Notice the rise and fall. Allow your mind to relax. Now just roll to your side and rest there for a moment. We rest here with a feeling of acceptance, knowing that this path is our own and that everything that is happening to us is meant to be happening. Now come to a simple seated position, Sukhasana. Bring your hands to heart center and bow the busy, intellectual, intelligent mind to the more intuitive wisdom of the heart. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home.